Everything that exists, every star, every planet, every atom in your body was decided in a single second. Not the first year, not the first minute, the first second. By the time 1 second had passed, the universe had already chosen what it would be made of, which forces would rule it, and why anything survived to exist at all. The rest of history, all 13.8 billion years of it, was just the consequences playing out. So let's slow that second down, way down, and watch it happen. Before we start, you only need to understand one rule, because this entire second runs on it. As the universe expands, it cools. That's it. Hot early, cooler later. And every single thing that happens, every force that appears, every particle that forms, happens for one reason. The universe dropped below the temperature where that thing could finally exist. Think of steam cooling into water, then water freezing into ice. Same stuff, but as it cools, it locks into new forms. The whole first second is the universe cooling from impossibly hot to merely unimaginably hot. Now rewind everything back to zero. At the very start, the entire universe, everything that will ever become billions of galaxies, is smaller than a single atom. And it is hot, not fire hot, not sun hot, 100 million trillion degrees. So hot that our physics simply stops working. Space and time themselves are a blur. There is only one force, a single unified force that does everything, and one seething, formless energy. This first sliver of time is so short it has its own name. It's the first 10 millionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second. And already, something is about to break. As things cool, that single force can't hold together, and the first piece to break off is gravity. It peels away and becomes its own thing, the force that will one day pull matter into stars and galaxies. But right now, there's no matter to pull. There's just energy, and three forces still tangled together as one. And then the universe does something so violent, so absurd, that we almost didn't believe it when we worked it out. In a stretch of time smaller than you can picture, the universe doesn't just expand, it erupts. In a tiny fraction of a second, it doubles in size, then doubles again, and again, dozens of times over. A patch smaller than a proton is blown up larger than a grapefruit, almost instantly, stretching far faster than the speed of light. And yes, that's allowed. Nothing inside space is beating the speed of light. Space itself is stretching, and space has no speed limit. This is called inflation, and here's why it matters. Without it, the universe would have ended up lumpy and chaotic. Matter clumped in some places, nothing in others. But inflation stretched everything so fast and so smooth that it ironed the entire universe flat and even, which is exactly what we see today. Every galaxy in every direction spread almost perfectly evenly. That smoothness, the whole large-scale shape of everything, was decided right here in a flash. And then, just as suddenly, inflation stops. When inflation ends, all that expansion energy has to go somewhere, so it converts into particles. Trillions upon trillions of them exploding into existence everywhere at once. In an instant, the empty, stretched universe fills with a blazing soup of the smallest things that exist. Quarks, electrons, and their carriers, all slamming into each other at unthinkable speed. This is a plasma so hot that nothing can hold a shape. As it keeps cooling, another force breaks away. The strong force, the one that will one day bind particles together. Now only two forces are still merged into one, but there's a problem hiding in this soup, and it's the most important problem in the entire story. Every particle that pops into existence comes with a twin, an opposite version of itself called antimatter. And matter and antimatter cannot coexist. The instant they touch, they annihilate. Both vanish in a flash of pure energy. In this soup, they're being created and destroyed constantly in perfectly matched pairs. A particle and its anti-twin, appearing, colliding, gone. Here's the terrifying part. If those pairs were perfectly equal, then as the universe cooled, every particle would eventually meet its twin and annihilate. Everything would cancel out. No matter would survive. No stars, no planets, no you. A universe of nothing but light. So why are you here? Because for every 1 billion antimatter particles, there were 1,000,000,001 particles of matter. A surplus of one extra in a billion. When the great annihilation came and the pairs wiped each other out, that tiny leftover, 1 in a billion, is everything that remained. Every atom in every star, every galaxy, every cell in your body is built from that surplus. You are the rounding error of the early universe. And here's the honest truth. We still don't fully know why that imbalance existed. It's one of the biggest unsolved questions in all of physics. But we know it happened, because we're here to ask about it. Now we're about a trillionth of a second in. The universe cools past another threshold and the last two forces split apart, leaving the four forces we know today: gravity, electromagnetism, and the two nuclear forces. But something else happens at this exact moment, and it's strange. Until now, every particle has been massless, flying around at the speed of light, weightless. Then a field switches on across all of space, the Higgs field. And as particles move through it, some get caught, slowed, dragged. That drag is mass. This is the moment particles gain weight. Without it, nothing could ever slow down, clump together, or build anything at all. The Higgs field turning on is the moment the universe became buildable. So now we have matter, with mass, and all four forces. You'd think particles would start snapping together into the building blocks of atoms, but it's still too hot. The quarks, the pieces that make up protons and neutrons, are moving so fast and so violently that the instant two try to bind, they're ripped apart again. It's like trying to build a house of cards inside a furnace. The universe has to cool more, so it does. About a millionth of a second in, the temperature finally drops far enough. And all at once, across the entire universe, the quarks stop flying free. They lock together, three at a time, into the first familiar particles, protons and neutrons. The exact protons and neutrons sitting in the center of every atom around you right now were forged here, when the universe was 1/1,000,000th of a second old. This is the first moment the universe contains matter you would actually recognize. Now we're closing in on the 1-second mark. The universe is still 10 billion degrees, but it's calming. And two last things happen. First, the ghost particles, neutrinos, which had been trapped in the chaos, suddenly stop interacting with everything else. The universe has thinned out enough that they slip free and fly off in every direction. And here's the haunting part. Those exact neutrinos are still flying through the universe today, right now. Billions of them are passing through your body every second, untouched since the first second of time. Second, the last great annihilation finishes. The leftover electrons and their anti-twins wipe each other out, leaving behind only the surplus, the electrons that will one day orbit atoms. And that's it, 1 second. The universe is now a hot, glowing fog of protons, neutrons, electrons, and light. 10 billion degrees, expanding, cooling. Every force is in place. Every particle you are made of already exists. Matter has won its war against antimatter. The stage is completely set. Everything after this, the first atoms forming minutes later, the first stars 100 million years on, the galaxies, the sun, the earth, and every living thing that ever crawled across it, all of it was already decided, already in motion by the time 1 second had passed. The next time someone says, "Give me a second," remember what a second can hold. The universe only needed one to decide everything it would ever be. And everything that has happened since is just that first second, still unfolding.